Even if people instantly sort of ring and say, I want to become a member of STAN, they can feel like they're part of a party of sort of 200 people in a similar situation.
So I didn't really have a network of colleagues that I could kind of talk to. There was no one doing this kind of work in sport, and that was essentially the sector that I was based in. So it was just really, really important for me to make those links in with other development workers because otherwise I just would have been completely isolated, and that was just not something that I wanted at all.
For me, the knowledge that I can just pick up the phone and ring another member of the network, and pick their brains on any issue, that is really, really useful.
In terms of networking events, I've met people who I have subsequently contacted for information, advice, for doing joint bits of work around issues. So I think for me that's been really important, to be able to sort of locate somebody who I think, oh yes, they know more about governance. So I phone them up and say, I have got this query, can you help me with A, B and C? And I find that really, for me, the most useful way to work.
A key benefit for me with STAN is actually it enables me to tap into workers that I wouldn't normally have access to. And in terms of looking at some of the strategic issues, instead of looking at them in isolation, I can actually look at strategic issues affecting the infrastructure, affecting the voluntary sector, which I have to answer to in a supportive environment.
And so it has maybe addressed the isolation and to a certain extent the support, but there's enormous pieces of work to be done, and one is about this area of STAN having a role to play in the professionalisation of this sector, creating a career development path for advisors.
I need to do a master's, I need to do a further degree because I don't feel that I'm academically convinced that I know what this is all about, because I've come from a science background, very kind of straight down the line, very black and white, and I'm working in a field that is all shades of grey.
I'm the kind of person that likes academics and gets confidence from having received lots of training. So in a way, I think I would have benefited from there being some sort of professional standard.
We want to develop learning programmes to not only be improving ourselves but establishing some sort of accreditation or professional route for development officers.
One of the most effective ways that myself and other people have learned is through a series of short course training programmes, and we're trying to work with various universities and institutions to ensure that there are more modular based programmes that meet the voluntary sector.
Over the past 2 years I have been doing an MSc in development management, and that has helped tremendously. It just opened my horizons. The depth of my knowledge and my ability to do my work is like 100% better than before.
If the development officer learns more, they're like a sort of catalyst in their own organisation for change. So they're pushing upwards as well as outwards to their own groups. So from here, we want to see what learning possibilities there would be for this section of the workforce if they had the time and commitment to seek them, because part of the issue might be development officers don't feel entitled to or encouraged by their organisations to seek learning.
One of the major issues is this information management across the sector. The systems are not there around information management. There's so many papers, literature, books, websites, tons out there, and so a new development worker going in will be pretty, overwhelmed by the amount of information available.
If a new development officer comes into post and a group says, we're trying to set up a monitoring and evaluation system, can you help me and what should I read? What I'd like that person to be able to do is to call someone or log on somewhere and look up 4 or 5 resources, but not just say, here's a list of 5 guides to monitoring the evaluation, but a sort of comment from another development officer who says, use this with a group, they loved it, I loved it, and it went really, really well. That's what I would like to see across all of the aspects of organisation development. One of the other sort of issues for advisors, I think they find it very hard to celebrate themselves and their work and their achievement and take a break. We're very driven sort of, people must get this done, can't sort of let yourself have breaks. So the midwinter formal, it was this great big ball once a year. Advisors get a nice dinner, a chance to hook up, not in a work context. They've got no responsibility to do anything other than talk to each other, and even that, they can just dance and do whatever they like. So yeah, it's a party, it's a celebratory event to recognise the achievement of development officers.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant because it gives you the opportunity to meet other people in a very informal setting. You know, work always gets discussed, but you know that it's very informal. But the other thing is that you get to put faces to names.
Actually relaxing, socialising, acknowledging what you're doing well, acknowledging where you need to strengthen yourself in a relaxed setting definitely enables people to grow